Hey, Mike Kessler here, welcoming you to yet another edition of the Marine News Network, your online resource for the latest and greatest happenings in the Marines. This is a very special edition in that we are shooting this from the Outrigger Hotel in the Bay of Tumon on the island of Guam. Guam is affectionately referred to as the Pearl of Micronesia, some 5,800 miles west of mainland USA.
Here we are at the War Dog Cemetery, where all the loyal companions of World War II who saved so many Marines by performing tasks such as searching out minefields, searching caves for Japanese soldiers, and even standing fire watch are buried here in honor and remembrance of all of their tasks performed for our loyal troops. We visited Esson Beach, the landing site of the Marines, on July 21st, 1944, and we're going to the Overlook as well, which is catty corner to Nimitz's house, where the Admiral himself chose to reside.
I'd to announce on the 8th of March, I had the privilege of visiting Colorado at a joint recruit graduation ceremony between Pikes Peak and the Pueblo Young Marines. I got to tell you, awesome kids. They were great. They had a lot of fun. And what I really enjoyed about this was you had two units graduating together at the same time, both of which actually received the Marine Corps League Commendation Ribbon Award. So impressive. We had a ball.
Absolutely. And I'm proud to announce that we've awarded a record number of Marine Corps League commendations to units across the country. We'd like to take this time to thank Marine Corps League detachments for supporting our local young Marines within each community.
This whole thing with the young Marines and giving them an opportunity to learn not only leadership skills, but to learn a lot about the country and about the nation that other students don't get to learn. Having them come on a trip and visit firsthand the battlefields of America, particularly the battlefields of World War II, will give them an insight that they can then share with others as they go through their life.
You know, that Pacific War Museum is really neat, and having somebody like Mr. Farrell walk us through it was pretty spectacular. But you know, he's a very interesting character, and he gets very emotional when he talks about what happened to his people here on the island of Guam.
Absolutely, and I also thought it was so spectacular that we got to walk through that museum with the World War II veterans themselves. Just made it all the more realistic.
Well, and too, I think you shouldn't go to that museum without seeing the video that they show in the little theater. It kind of gives you a broad perspective of the island of Guam, why it's important, and what happened to the Chamorros during World War II with the Japanese. But great time, but I want to do a couple shout-outs, if I may.
Sounds good to me.
One of them is to Mr. Richard Gore of the Marine Corps League and the New England Division of the Marine Corps League for their very generous contribution to the Young Marines during the Midwinter Conference in Washington, D.C. in February. So to all of you Marine Corps Leaguers up in the Northeast Division, I want to thank you so much. Your generosity is overwhelming, and it's going to go a long ways to help our Young Marines.
And I'd like to give just a quick shout out to one of our favorite sponsors, Camelback, for providing these wonderful packs for us year after year for those attending the Guam trip. They make traveling on those long flights and on our tours all day long so much easier, and we get more questions about these than just about anything else. So thank you so much to Roxanne for being so supportive of our trip every single year.
And to the American Legion Child Welfare Foundation. Yes. For the second time, they gave us a sizable grant, and the purpose of the grant is strictly to provide printed materials to enhance our drug demand reduction education campaign. So we've got some really neat ideas that we have come up with. We've got a lot of creative juices flowing, and I think what we have come up with in terms of a drug demand reduction campaign kit is incredible. I think the Young Marines will love it. I think the registered adults will love it. And we're actually going to unveil this at this year's Adult Leaders Conference. So for those who attend the ALC this year, you're in for a real treat.
Yes, you are. I'd like to take this time to thank Military Historical Tours, who's brought us this island so many years in a row to provide our young Marines a once-in-a-lifetime adventure to escort these veterans back to the island of Iwo Jima.
And joining us on this trip are your 6th Division Young Marines of the Year, our 2 Jimmy Trimble Scholarship Award recipients, the honor graduate from this year's Advanced Leadership School, and our 2 very important and highly valued registered adult volunteers, Ms. Lisa Farmer and Mr. George Biedenbender, took time out from their busy schedules to join us on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Of course, the purpose for this trip is to spend time with the veterans for the campaigns of Guam and Iwo Jima. Tonight there will be a banquet honoring the veterans and getting everybody really ready to go for tomorrow's early reveille and the eventual ride to Iwo Jima. It's not like anybody has to be pumped up for this. This is so exciting just in and of itself that the idea of landing on Iwo Jima and then making the walk to the base of Mount Suribachi and climbing the mountain, and all of our young Marines are actually going to climb Suribachi.
Yes, absolutely.
And we'll stand up there with the veterans. For those who have studied the battle, it's a surreal experience. We've been privileged as an organization to have this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We don't know how much longer trips to Iwo Jima will be allowed, but nonetheless, tomorrow's a big day. I can't wait.
Absolutely, neither can I.
We've got yourself and 9 other hard chargers that just can't wait to get to the black sands of Iwo Jima and to the top of Suribachi and get a group photo and I think even more importantly to watch how the veterans themselves react to going back.
And that, more than anything else, is the most astounding part of that trip. So it'll be such an honor to see them on their first trip back to the island in which they fought.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to see you on top of Mount Suribachi next, and we're looking forward to it. Okay, and for the YMN News Network, we said we were going to bring you a shout out from the top of Mount Suribachi. We're on February 23rd, 1945. The flag was raised, signaling, so they thought, the capturing of the island of Iwo Jima. And of course, we know that the battle went on to last for 36 full days. It's an iconic setting with the picture of that Joe Rosenthal had taken of the flag raising. We have 10 young Marines that have climbed Mount Suribachi. Not too many people can claim that they have climbed Mount Suribachi, and I want to tell you, we did it all the way, the full length of the island from the airport. I'm getting a little too old to be doing that, but once you get up here, you just kind of get that rejuvenation. And from a historical perspective, it was that flag raising that reinvigorated, re-inspired Americans back home. The war bond effort then became very successful.
We brought those 2 truckloads of ammunition in and gave them to the 28th Marines right about over here. And that's when they come down and said, well, if we could have, we'd have gone down and kissed you for getting that ammunition.
And in closing this episode of the Young Marine News Network, I would like to congratulate our National Young Marine of the Year, Dakota Richter, for her appointment to the United States Coast Guard Academy.
Hoorah! Mr. Kessler.
So again, congratulations, and we're really excited for you. And you know what? I think the next episode is going to be your last one.
It is.
And we'll probably shoot that one from the Adult Leaders Conference in Washington, D.C. You've done an awesome job.
So stay tuned for that.
There you go. So remember, be safe, have fun, and continue your great work in maintaining a healthy, drug-free lifestyle. Let's bring them all in. All right. What do you think?